Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, September 18th, 2017. I'm Lafern Fraser with the details. A tropical storm watch remains in effect for St. Vincent and the Grenadines as Hurricane Maria intensifies to Category 4. A tropical storm watch means that tropical storm conditions are possible within the watch area, generally within 48 hours. According to the local meteorological services, at 5 p.m., the center of Category 4 Hurricane Maria was located near 15.1 degrees north, 60.7 degrees west, or about 130 miles to the north-northeast of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Maximum sustained winds have increased to near 130 miles per hour with higher gusts, and further strengthening is forecast during the next 36 hours. Hurricane force winds now extend outward up to 25 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 125 miles. This motion is expected through Wednesday. On this present track, the center is expected to pass close or over Dominica later tonight. The Met Office says feeder bands from Hurricane Maria would continue to produce pockets of moderate to heavy showers, periods of rain, thunderstorms, and gusty winds across SVG into tomorrow. Sustained westerly wind speed of 20 to 35 miles per hour with higher gusts can be expected. Rainfall accumulations of 4 to 8 inches are possible with higher amounts in mountainous areas. The flood warning for St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been extended until 6 a.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, September 19th, 2017. Persons near rivers, streams, and areas prone to flooding and land slippage are asked to take the necessary precautions. Seas across SVG are expected to be at least 4 to 6 meters with life-threatening surf and rip current. Meanwhile, information from the Ministry of Education states that due to storm surges and high surf conditions associated with Hurricane Maria, parents, guardians of children who travel by sea or boat to keep them at home tomorrow, September 19th, and until such time as further advised by the relevant authorities. Outlining the efforts made by this government in the relief work offered to neighboring Caribbean islands, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said at a press conference today that this country has a duty to be a good Samaritan. Dr. Gonsalves noted that already it had donated $1 million to Antigua and Barbuda and another $1 million to Anguilla, while the BVI received $50,000. And some 8,000 pounds of food and water was delivered to St. Martin. The Prime Minister was also pleased with the generosity shown by various business enterprises and locals and urged Vincentians to be open-handed.
So we have intimate family connections. In any event, we have to help because St. Vincent and the Grenadines, apart from the principle that they are our neighbors, not only in a political sense and inside of relevant organizations. The book of Luke enjoins us to see everybody as our neighbors. And in this regard, we are the metaphoric Good Samaritans. And we have to be because today for me, tomorrow for you.
The leader of this country further stated the importance of mitigating against the natural disasters by ensuring that building codes are adhered to, as they not only save costs, but also save lives.
I don't want anybody to be saying, well, Ralph, what you're talking about here, we're not going to be able to afford to live in St. Vincent or to build houses in St. Vincent. The question which I'm putting to you, you cannot afford not to do it properly because you're only living in a fool's paradise. If you build not consistent with the building code and you try to chinks here and there, you're only making life more difficult for yourself. I know the problem with the cost. I know all that. And we have to find ways and means for us to help more. We have been doing a lot of that. But I want I want the discussion to be of such a large nature that when these things come up, we don't take silly partisan politics about these things.
Also advocating the need to ensure that the buildings are constructed with quality standards was Minister of Agriculture Soboto Caesar, who described the destruction in the BVI as overwhelming.
Issues of architectural designs, how we build on islands, taking into consideration the fact that we're expecting storms and hurricanes which will be more intense. It also came home to me that we need to establish a national program which is ongoing, where NGOs, the private sector and the villages will have a continuous process and period of training for young persons and for nationals as to how we respond should there be a natural disaster of this intensity. It is also very clear that as we continue to develop our own country, issues of planning and how the citizenry, how we adhere to our planning rules and regulations, that these things must be clearly followed.
Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves also revealed that the passports of those particularly in the British Virgin Islands will be waived to accommodate the loss they suffered.
There are a number of people, they've lost their passports, they're damaged. Not only in their homes, but people in the BVI, they put their passports in by the immigration office in the BVI to get them stamped to stay on further. The place blew down. Now, the swiftest way to do that, to process those things, is to send somebody there. We'll have the photographs in the database already. Could get the information. We don't have to wait the standard 6 months, which we normally wait, because we know that this is a disaster. And we have taken the decision to waive the payment of for the passport and the replacement, because you know normally when you come with a passport, when you apply for a passport, a new passport, because your old one is lost or damaged or destroyed, you not only have to pay for the new passport, but you have to pay what is a replacement cost, because you got the original one heavily subsidized.
Minister of Economic Planning and Communication, Camilo Gonsalves, also echoed the need to ensure that Vincentians have their travel documents restored. He also called on persons to be prepared for any pending disasters.
Before we left, people were saying, well, if you leave BVI, you're going to lose your work permit and you're going to have to reapply. All of these things, we have to be there for them to ensure that communication and information is clear. And the natural other tensions that will arise when people are pulling and tugging for limited relief resources. Maria is upon us. We're under a tropical storm watch here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The swells were up to 23 feet. The wind gusts were exceeding 40 miles an hour. Right after Maria, Lee is already organizing itself in the Atlantic, and it appears to be projected to be traveling the same path. I don't know yet if it will develop into a full hurricane. This hurricane season has already cost over $132 billion in damage.
And St. Vincent Electricity Services, or VINLEC, says after a system failure earlier today, which caused a major power outage across the island, it was able to restore power in most, if not all, areas. The company's communications officer, Tamara Sprott, gave SVG-TV News an update on the work being done.
Just about 2:25 this afternoon, we experienced what is known as a system failure on mainland St. Vincent, and that is a complete outage on the island. We recognize that that happened as a result of a series of events that happened simultaneously on the system, We have done some preliminary investigation, but our focus right now is on restoration. And we have been able to restore power in phases across the country. So, for example, we started with Kingstown and surrounding areas. We did the industrial site. We were able to restore places like Lomans, Belair. Right now, there is one large area out, and that's from Penistone Layu to Richmond. So we were able to do restoration work, and our team is continuing to work to restore the power into the evening.
Job Sprott took the opportunity to thank Vinlec's customers for their patience and recommended that those who have suffered power outages to call the company.
There are some pockets of customers who may have outages, and we have our emergency crew who will work on restoration this evening. We encourage those persons to call us at 456-1540 to make a report if you have an outage. This system outage for us at Vinlec is the first one we are having. The last time we had one was just over 2 years ago. In fact, today is 758 days since we have had a system failure. It was quite a challenging event for us, but we were able to manage it. We would like to extend our congratulations to our staff. They worked tirelessly in the field and in the dispatch section to be able to restore the power to all customers on mainland St. Vincent. And of course, we want to thank the public for being patient with us. We are committed and remain committed to providing quality service to our customers across St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Having been called to the bar of St. Vincent and the Grenadines some 19 years ago, lawyer John D. Martin was today sworn in as SVG's new Attorney General, replacing Judith Jones Morgan, who served in that capacity for over 16 years. Nikita Tony tells us more on today's swearing-in ceremony in this report.
Martin, do swear that I will well and truly serve the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the office of Attorney General.
Having satisfied all the legal requirements for the post of Attorney General, lawyer John D. Martin was approved for the position by the Judicial and Legal Services Commission in accordance with Section 80 of the Constitution Order of SVG, and was earlier today, Monday, September 18th, sworn in as this nation's new Attorney General. Noting that she was indeed proud to introduce Martin as her successor, outgoing Attorney General Judith Jones Morgan, CMG, outlined that in her opinion, since Martin's call to the bar in October 1998, he has remained grounded in the institutional values that have defined the Attorney General's chambers.
These values have always guided my legal officers in the course of their work, and they have guided me during my tenure. In upholding these values, Mr. Martin will follow the examples set by past Attorneys General. I have every confidence, ladies and gentlemen, that the officers of the Attorney General's chambers will fully support Mr. Martin, as they have fully and ably supported me in living up to the Attorney General's oath to uphold the rule of law in St. Vincent and the Grenadines according to the institutional values we live by.
In his remarks, Acting Deputy Governor General Reverend Victor Job congratulated Martin on the assumption of his duties.
You have been entrusted with the onerous responsibilities of this high office, which would require of you much of your time, energy, and I mean mental and emotional as well, and physical energy, and your commitment. And I'm convinced that you are equipped for the task.
Pointing out that he was indeed overwhelmed by the occasion, the newly appointed AG, John D. Martin, noted that he is deeply honored by the faith and confidence bestowed upon him by the government and people of SVG to carry out his new duties.
The office itself has to be respected. The duties of the office have to be performed. Huge responsibility with many challenges. I have my concerns and forebodings, of course. I know that I have a high standard to live up to in the person of the former Attorney General, Mrs. Jones Morgan. I have resolved myself to face the challenges and to do the best I can for my country.
Highlighting that the Constitution provides for two types of Attorney Generals, either a politician or someone of the public office, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves noted that he has always been of the view that the office of the Attorney General should be one of public service. He added that Martin, with his experience, character and good judgment, is indeed suited for the post.
I know the quality of his work. I know that he's a patriot. I know that he's a good man. And I know that he will serve this country well. And at 45, I hope he has 15 years ahead of him as Attorney General, if he's not taken by the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeal and to function otherwise.
Martin is the second person to assume the office of the Attorney General under the ULP administration since they took office in 2001. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
Meanwhile, high praises were given to the outgoing Attorney General, Judith Jones-Morgan, CMG, for her stalwart contribution. Acting Deputy Governor General Reverend Victor Job expressed confidence that Jones-Morgan will carry on her excellent service to the people of SVG.
I think it would be in order for me to express our sincere thanks and appreciation to the outgoing Attorney General, Mrs. Judith Jones-Morgan, for the service you have given to this country. I don't know what you're going to do next. I don't know your schedule. But I know you will continue in your service in your own field, in your own way, and I just want to wish you every blessing in all your future endeavors. God bless you.
Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves also commended Jones-Morgan for her 16.5 years of service to the government and people of SVG.
On the 5th of October, when Parliament sits, when the House sits, there would be an occasion to pay a very special tribute to Judith Jones-Morgan. And we will have our own ceremony at the Cabinet because she has served us so faithfully and well.
5 motor cars were handed over to the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force on Friday, September 15, 2017, through the generosity of Monspace Company Limited. The vehicles are expected to be assigned to various departments of the force to further improve their motor patrol services across SVG.
The responsibility of ensuring national security here in SVG, the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force were on Friday, September 15th, presented with 5 Toyota Aygo motor cars, which will further aid in their mission. Valued at over 90,000 EC dollars each, the vehicles came through a donation from the new Southeast Asian conglomerate, Monspace Company Limited. While expressing gratitude to the donors, Deputy Commissioner of Police Colin John noted that the donation is very timely, with measures already in place to ensure that the vehicles are cared for.
They would be going to the Port Elizabeth Police Station, the Traffic Branch, the Calico Police Station, the Process and Criminals Records Office, and the Major Crime Unit. The organization has also employed preventative measures, such as quarterly inspection of these vehicles and defensive driving courses for some officers. This is to ensure that the vehicles are well taken care of.
In her remarks, Speaker of the OECS House of Assembly, Renee Batiste, CMG, spoke of her willingness to always give back to her country, a fact she had relayed to a member of the Monspace Company, which led to the generous donation.
Renee, don't you think you all need the vehicles? I say, yes, we need the vehicles. I say, without being told, I said, can you give us the vehicles? Can you give us one? And he surprisingly said to me, I'll do better than that. I will take it back to my company. I give you the assurance you will get 5. That you're ensured that one will go to the Northern Grenadines, to Bequia. Very happy for that, because we have significant tourism investment in Bequia, and we need to be quite flexible in meeting the needs there, quite mobile.
Chief of Strategic Corporate Planning of One Space Company Limited, Stanley Tu, commended the work of all the dedicated police officers of the SVG-PF, deeming them as heroes.
We make money from the tourists. Therefore, security, safety is one of the most important things. I am very, very touched by Mr. Colin John. You promised me that this vehicle will be well maintained, okay? And I give you my word. You well maintain this 5 vehicle, okay? I will sponsor another 20 electrical motorbike.
It is hoped that the donated motor vehicles will not only aid in the motor patrol capabilities of the SVG-PF, but also significantly contribute to the proper policing of the Vincentian public. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
The RSVG police force is investigating an accident which took place last night on the Argyle Public Road. According to the police, motor vehicle P1277 driven by Alan Alexander collided with omnibus HN 754 driven by Wendell Toney of Connery. Reports indicate that Toney suffered serious injuries resulting in the loss of his left leg and other injuries about his body. He is currently a patient at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital in the intensive care unit. Alexander also suffered injuries and was treated, then discharged. Both vehicles suffered extensive damage. Meanwhile, the police are seeking the public's assistance in locating 20-year-old Xavier Lynch, alias Bounty, of Cemetery Hill in connection with last Friday's incident in Lower Middle Street, which resulted in a homicide. According to the police, the subject, who is a Vincentian national, is to be approached with caution. He is considered dangerous. If seen, persons are asked to contact any police station or Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of crime at telephone numbers 451-2467 or 457-211, extension 217, or officer in charge of the CID CRO MCU, extension 216 or 220. Calls, they say, will be treated confidentially.